Hey everybody, what's going on? So I'm recording this or narrating this battle for the second time because I did it and then it crashed. Well, Audacity crashed, so I didn't get to recover the audio. So I lead off with my Azelf. He leads off with his Ninetales. Obviously, it's Sunny Day team. I get my rocks up because rocks are good and I wanted them up. No further explanation needed. So he goes for the Fire Blast and I live. And since I don't really have much time left alive, anyways, I just explode to try to take something out with me. This is elf actually has some EVs in attack, so explosion is kind of a worthwhile move to use, but I wouldn't use it on anything too defensive, so to speak. Ninetales is kind of just the cutoff where it's frail enough that it might actually do something. So I go into my Gengar, who for some reason ended up with a Japanese name. I don't really know why. And I go for this. He goes into his Arcanine. I sub as he goes for a Morning Sun. So I got kind of a free sub, and that's cool. So I go for my Shadow Ball. And it turns out that if I didn't go for the sub and just went straight for the Shadow Ball, he would have died because the Stealth Rock. But, that's all right because this is a sub-split Gengar. So being at low health can actually be kind of handy sometimes because I can do a lot of damage with Pain Split. So it's not all bad. It just kind of wasted an extra turn, which there are a lot of. There's 53 turns in this battle. Ends up to be about a 50-minute recording, 49 minutes and 57 seconds. So that's why we're doing it at times 4 because that's just ridiculous. That would be like the 4-part epic YouTube battle of laggy, shitty recording. So, yeah, obviously I sped it up a lot for a good reason. So I go for the Pain Split and get all my health back, which is great. And now since I'm behind my free sub still, and he misses the Stone Edge, so now I'm still behind my free sub. I get a free Shadow Ball off, which is great, but it doesn't really make a difference at all because he has a rest. But that's all right. So he hits me with Stone Edge this time and gets his leftovers back, and it's not looking like another 2-hit KO. So I switch out because I don't want to lose Gengar quite yet. I go into my Zuduzuskin, hoping to take the Stone Edge, but he goes for the rest, which means I could have stayed in. And I at least attempted the 2-hit KO at no negative at all. And then I could have just subbed up and started pounding on him. But that's all right. I Dragon Tail him out into his Venusaur, which takes Stealth Rock damage, obviously. And he's going to go for a Solar Beam. And Venusaur's kind of a beast. I had actually no idea. This is the Dream World Chlorophyll Venusaur, obviously, because that's what it's doing on a Sunny Day team. He hits me with a Solar Beam. It does like 3/4. I just Dragon Tail him out because I don't want to look at him. And I get him into a Charizard, which is fantastic because it's going to take half damage from Stealth Rock, a 10th, I believe, or an 8th from its Solar Power ability. And now I know it doesn't have Roost, so I can switch out no problem. And I go into Blissey and just check out how much this does. It's a ridiculous amount of damage that this does. It does like 3/4 to a Blissey between Life Orb and Solar Power and the Sun. That's pretty ridiculous. So, but since he's going to take damage at the end of the turn regardless of what happens because of Solar Power, and he can't switch out and back in because of the Stealth Rocks, I'm just going to go ahead and Protect stall. I go for the second Protect and I get it, which is good because Blissey comes in really handy later. And he dies to Solar Power, so that's the thing with Charizard. You can use him, but don't expect him to be around for long because he kills himself faster than he can kill anything else sometimes, it seems, without the proper support, like Rapid Spin and everything. So he goes out into his Milota, and this is something I've never really seen before, so I kind of just go into Zuduzuskin to see what it's going to do. And I take whatever that is. It's his transforming move. So now it went from normal Psychic, I believe, to normal Fighting now. And he goes for the Shadow Ball. He said he was predicting my Gengar to switch back in to take the close combat. But so I live with 4, which is epic right there. And I get a Drain Punch, which is going to be super effective and give me a good chunk of health back. Like 86 from 4. That's not bad. That's 42 health plus leftovers, bring me to 106. So this time I should have switched into Gengar to avoid the close combat, but I was thinking he'd overpredict again and go for his Shadow Ball again. So Zuduzuskin goes down, takes its Life Orb damage. So now I go into my Ditto to revenge this thing, copy it. And I go for the return because I knew after this he would want to go back into his Venusaur. So I didn't want to be locked in on close combat. So, return it is. And I'm going to hit it with a return. And it's just barely going to live. And it's going to hit me with a Sleep Powder. which sucks so bad. If that sleep powder would have missed or that return would have killed, this battle would be significantly shorter. It would be probably about 15, 20 turns shorter, which is just ridiculous because that means the only thing I would have really had to deal with it would be a Swampert. But now I still have the Venusaur and the Swampert I have to deal with, which just sucks. I mean, Venusaur is just... I don't like battling Venusaurs. Wah, complain. I don't like narrating things twice because Audacity's a piece of shit sometimes. Oh well. Anyways, I go for a wish just to heal up a little bit because I'm still kind of hurting from that Charizard encounter. He goes for a Sludge Bomb, does a decent chunk. I think he's trying to poison me. I don't even remember if it can poison. And I have to go for the Hidden Power Ground because Blissey's can't really run Seismic Toss anymore because of Shandera. I mean, it really sucks, but Blissey's just have to be able to combat that thing. Because really, if you can't combat that thing, all you can do is Toxic Stall it. It's going to kill you and set up on you and everything. So, Blissey's need... that Shandera alone is forcing Blissey's to run Hidden Power Ground, which is a real statement, but, means Blissey can't do a damn thing to anything else, which is just brutal. So, I go into Metagross here. I'm thinking I can set up and maybe just start taking these things out slowly. So, I got my Rock Polish, and, I'm against Swampert, who is still, in my mind, a top-tier defensive threat after this battle because he beasts everything. I go for the Earthquakes. What I should have probably done is Meteor Mashed and tried for some attack raises because those would have been really handy and maybe even help me take out the Swampert, but, I don't. So he goes for his Curse when he wakes up, which turns Earthquake from what looked like a 3-hit KO to maybe like a 4-hit KO. After this, I'm putting a Life Orb on that Metagross. He needs it. Let's be honest. He needs it to get through some of these just really incredibly bulky walls. Because right now he has the Fire Resist Berry. Whatever that one's called. Shuka. No, that's ground. What the hell? Oka? I don't know. Something. He's got the Fire Resist Berry. Which is good because it lets him set up on a lot more things. But it's bad because I can't do enough damage to anything. Like a Swampert or a Venusaur, apparently, later on in the battle. So now he's asleep again, and I'm going to go into my Gengar, and I'm going to get my free sub, and I'm just going to go for broke. I'm going to Shadow Ball this thing to high heavens. I don't know why I just said that. I think I'm just a little bit out of it from narrating the same thing twice. It's really, really not that interesting. I think I got special defense drop there. If I didn't, then I'm going to get it some other time. So he hits me with a Stone Edge, breaks my sub with a crit. Doesn't really make a difference, obviously, because Gengar is frail. So now I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball and hoping that it gets a crit or for some reason it KOs. But it falls short again. And he's going to hit me with a Stone Edge, and that's good game, Gengar. You're dead. So he gets his leftovers back, and Swampert's out here just beasting it and laughing at me right now. So I go into my Ditto. I kind of want to burn a couple turns of sleep, since I really have nothing else that I can do to it right now. Because I think I probably should have went back out into what's-his-nuts, Metagross, if I still have him. I don't remember. Yes, I do. I should have went back into Metagross, but I wanted to burn turns of sleep with Ditto. Really what I wanted did. I feel like I needed Ditto for some reason. I don't know why. I could have killed him. Probably. That sucks. Oh well. I'm burning turns of sleep. He's setting up / earthquaking me. I get an epic 8 HP survive, which is pretty complimentary to my epic 4 HP survive before. So I'm getting kind of lucky in this battle. And I go for the Earthquake, and it just barely lives. So just going to go for another Curse, which sucks, but, it gives me another chance to Earthquake. And I think I'm going to get the KO here. I think so. Go for the Earthquake, and it KOs, finally. Ditto is left with 8 HP. That's brilliant. So now Venusaur's out, and I want to save Ditto for later so I can maybe do something to Venusaur to revenge it. So I'm going to go into Blissey. I'm going to take the Solar Beam really well. No biggie. It's pretty sweet. Take the Solar Beam. It's good. And then I get my leftovers back. It did about... Factoring in leftovers, it looks about 5 or 6 hit KO, which is pretty standard for Blissey, I would assume. Because Blissey, as you all know, is a beast. So now I'm going to pass Metagross the Wish to give him a safe switch in, but it ends up not even mattering because he's going for a Sludge Bomb. So he goes for the Sleep Powder, and it misses. So I'm thinking, finally, I win. The fight's over. This is it. And I go for my Ice Punch, and this is what I was talking about. I need the Life Orb, but just falls short. And he hits me with the Sleep Powder this time. So now I'm asleep, and all I can do is kind of sit here and try to burn turns of sleep while he goes for Synthesis and starts wearing me down with Solar Beams. And just, oh my god. This is just not... This stall was just brutal. Like, I spent like a quarter of the battle fighting just his Venusaur. It's ridiculous. So I think Metagross is going to get a Life Orb, and this team's going to get some work. But, you know, I've made myself another team with some actual thought behind it, so look forward to seeing that one, I suppose. Hit him with an Ice Punch, and he just barely lives again. Another case that I would need Life Orb. I need a Life Orb on this thing so bad. So now I'm just going to switch out. I'm going to go into Ditto, and I'm going to copy it and hopefully get this thing, put his Venusaur to sleep. Because I know he's going to Synthesis regardless of what I do. So there's nothing I can do about it. He's going to Synthesis. That's fine. I go for Sleep Powder, and I miss. But he gets greedy and goes for another Synthesis. So the plus side is I get another shot to try for Sleep Powder. The downside is now he's at full health, which fucking sucks. So now he's asleep, and I can go back out into my Metagross and start burning my sleep. So now we have like the epic sleep duel going on here. And I'm sure this is really exciting to watch. Oh my god, sleeping. Oh my god, sleeping. And he wakes up first. Fucking ridiculous. But I think I did remember reading somewhere that the sleep counter resets when you switch out. So you have to leave your Pokemon in for like multiple consecutive turns, which I think is pretty stupid, but you know, what can you do against Game Freak, right? So I Ice Punch and I get the crit, so that's good game. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.